Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are we doing? Hopefully, okay. Hopefully, unlike me, you're not suffering from really bad hay fever. Hay fever is kicking my ass. Like, hay fever, you win. You win. I give up. Fucking hell. Like, I take one tablet. I feel like it puts me to sleep for 20 hours. I take another tablet. Feels like it does nothing. Jesus, middle of the night, I'm rubbing my eyes, and that, that rubbing the eye thing's crazy because it feels good. It feels actually quite good. But then you wake up and you feel like you're blind. It's crazy. So hay fever, stop. Please, I give up. Let me enjoy the summer. Let me bloody enjoy it. Day off today. In fact, 2 days off. So off today, off Thursday, which gives me a lot of time to really jot some ideas down about the studio. We're really starting to get excited about that now. Remember, I get the key. What's the date today? I think the date today is this. I get the key in 2 weeks. So, starting to jot some ideas, some plans as to how I want it to look. Because I do really, it's going to be tight, but I really want to get in there for the first video I want to do in there is the live watch along for Fury-Wilder 3. We're going to talk about the face-off, the press conference in a second, but that's the plan. That's the idea. Fury-Wilder 3 will be the date. All right, let's talk about the Fury-Wilder 3 press conference. I'm guessing Wilder turned up late. The press conference was supposed to start at 9 o'clock, and Top Rank put out a little thing saying we are slightly behind. Slightly behind. The press conference started around 9:40. But it did say, I think they tried to blame Wilder because they did say something like, okay, Wilder's just entered the building. So obviously insinuating that it started late because of Deontay Wilder. On the podium was Deontay Wilder and new trainer Malik Scott. On the other side, you had Sugar Hill Stewart, Bob Arum, and obviously Tyson Fury, who decided to turn up topless, as only Tyson Fury can do. His confidence levels are incredible. Incredible. I don't think who else in sport has this kind of arrogant swagger. Conor McGregor, when he was at his peak, had this arrogance and swagger as well. Conor McGregor was worse. But Tyson Fury's confidence levels are through the roof. Deontay Wilder had headphones on. I don't know what they were. Noise-cancelling headphones. Didn't want to hear anything. Malik Scott was answering all the questions. A lot of you have tweeted, what do I make of the fact that he was trying to almost be Zen-like? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he realizes that's a battle he can't win. Like that verbal battle with Tyson Fury, forget it. You can have it, Fury. You win this one. I can't win that. So maybe it's a case of I don't want to hear what you're saying. I don't want to go back and forth with you because I can't beat you at this one. So what's the point even trying? We're having a boxing match. Let's not get into the psychology side of it because I ain't winning that. Do you know what I mean? So maybe that was the reason he decided to not answer any questions and to try and not hear what Tyson Fury was saying. Although I do believe, well, maybe not actually, because there was a couple of times when they asked him questions and Malik Scott had to literally tap him on the shoulder. So maybe he couldn't hear anything. So maybe in that sense, it worked. Maybe. Look, if it works for him, it works, right? If it somehow gives him an edge or 1% advantage or come fight night that he didn't hear what Tyson Fury was saying about him, then fine. But I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't go back home and watch the press conference again. I mean, so I don't know if that works at all. Tyson Fury was, again, excellent. He really is excellent at press conferences. He's just so sharp and quick-witted. It's going to be always difficult to compete with him at a press conference. And that was always my concern, by the way, with AJ Fury. I was like, I knew AJ wasn't going to win that battle. That battle, that verbal battle, ain't going to win it. So in my head, I was thinking, I hope Eddie Hearn takes over. And it's Eddie Hearn versus Tyson Fury because Eddie Hearn's also very sharp and quick-witted. That's what I wanted. And in the end, it kind of turned into that on stage. It was like Malik Scott versus Tyson Fury. But then Tyson Fury almost just ridiculed Malik Scott and basically told him, I bashed you up in sparring. So there's nothing you can teach him because I know how good you are. That was kind of a weird argument. Tyson Fury was saying to Malik Scott, there's nothing you can teach Deontay Wilder because you were never good, which I thought was a bit cheeky. You were never good, so you can't teach him to beat me. That doesn't work like that. That's not how it works, you know. Like most elite trainers weren't great boxers, but that's what Tyson Fury was trying to insinuate. Like, I bashed you up. What can you teach him? And regardless of what you teach him, he will revert to type. That statement's true. That statement is very, very true. If Malik Scott all of a sudden thinks that Deontay Wilder is going to turn into a boxer, just because Malik Scott, by the way, was a quite a cute boxer, that ain't gonna happen. As soon as he gets tagged, the red mist will descend, and he will try and take Tyson Fury's head off. Like, if we think that he's gonna sit behind a jab and somehow float around the ring, like Muhammad Ali, it ain't gonna happen. It's not. He's gonna revert to type. And I like what Tyson Fury said as well. Like, Sugar Hill was like, you know, Tyson Fury has now got that one punch knockout power. Like, if he sits on these punches, he can knock Deontay Wilder out. Malik Scott threw it back at Tyson Fury, saying, you're going to revert to type. Yeah, of course I'm going to revert to type. We're both going to revert back to type. That's just how it's going to be. The difference is Tyson Fury has two types. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? But Tyson Fury does have two types. We've seen Tyson Fury for years in this country as the boxer, the mover, slick, can engage when he wants to engage. Deontay Wilder has seen that version in the first fight, and in the second fight, he saw a man that put it on him. Put it on him. So in Deontay Wilder's head, it's almost a case of, even if Tyson Fury does revert to type, what type is it? What type am I going to see come July 24th? Is he going to be on the back foot? Is he going to use his jab? Or is he going to do what he did before, which is use all of that weight? Tyson Fury said he's going to weigh in around 300 pounds against me and bash me up. That's it. Those are the questions that are going to go through Deontay Wilder's head come July 24th. And look, we're not far away. We're, 6 weeks away from it. It's so strange how I was so upset. I was livid, in fact, that we didn't get to see or aren't going to see AJ Fury. But I am excited now about Fury Wilder 3. I am. I really am. Wilder does look a bit more thick-set. Looks a bit more swollen, I thought. I think he's definitely going to come in a bit heavier. And maybe that's something they've worked on slowly, to put weight on slowly. I felt that they tried to just make him a little bit too big for the second fight, and he's got really skinny legs, hasn't he? And it's almost like that upper body was too big for the legs. So I wonder if they've tried to maybe distribute that weight correctly and slowly, because he did look a bit thicker. I really did think that Deontay Wilder was going to refuse the face-off, because he hadn't said anything in the press conference. Well, he said something. He went up to the podium. In fact, let's go back to that. Went up to the podium and talked about decapitating Tyson Fury. I was a bit upset about Wilder. And look, some people have come out and said, well, he doesn't need to say anything, right? The fight's done. He doesn't promote it. And I get all that. That's all fine. And look, whatever you want to say about him promoting the fights, whatever. You've accused Tyson Fury of so much shit between the end of the fight and now, really. Here it is. Here's your chance to see the man that you've accused of doing everything face to face and, say it to him. Say it to him man to man, face to face, what you've done. You've done this with your glove. You've took this drugs. You've done this. You've done that. Say it to him. And he didn't say anything. That's why I was a bit upset. That's why I was excited about this press conference. I was thinking, okay, all the accusations that Wilder has labelled at Fury's camp, this is a chance for him to say it all. Said nothing. I thought that was disappointing. Said nothing. Because Tyson Fury would have batted those back, and that would have been a very spicy press conference. That would have been exactly what we all wanted, but he didn't say anything. But he did get up to the podium, did talk about decapitating Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury then got up and said, look, you said this before. And it's true, he did. Said this before. I've heard it all before. Means nothing comes fight night. Again, Tyson Fury looked very, very confident in his own abilities. And why wouldn't you? You know how good you are. You've tasted his power. You've got up from his power twice. And you beat him up in the second fight. You are going to be super confident. They then went to the front of the podium, which, again, I didn't expect it to happen. I thought Wilder... There was a time, just as Fury... Because Fury was there waiting for about 20 seconds there was a time when I thought I saw Wilder have a word with, it was definitely Malik Scott, and then I think it was Shelley Finkel, and I was thinking, okay, he's going to tell them he's not doing it, just because of it. And he's not answered any questions, and that, but he did it, and it was spectacular. it was well over 5 minutes. And what I did like was when Wilder removed his glasses. It was almost as though he was saying, "Look deep into my soul. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to utter one word, but look at me." And I was just, as it went past the minute mark, in my head, I was like, there is no way on this earth Tyson Fury is walking away. There's no way. And something clicked in Tyson Fury's head as well, because he stopped talking, and it was almost as though he was back in that sauna with Vladimir Klitschko, and it was like, I ain't leaving. I am not leaving. We can do this for an hour if you want. I am not leaving. So Tyson Fury very quickly goes from this jokey person, laughing, joking, to let's have it. And I think we sometimes forget that with Tyson Fury. Yes, he can laugh. Yes, he can joke. Yes, he can do everything he does, all the crap he does. When it comes to fight night, Tyson Fury is on his game. And that was the start of fight night. That little thing there was the start. That was it. The fight started there. And I loved it. And it was funny, Malik Scott was at the back. I don't know what lady it was, but someone kept coming up to Malik Scott saying, okay, tell them to kind of stop. And Malik Scott was like, these two ain't stopping. Like, this is different. They're not stopping. And they didn't stop. They didn't stop. And then what I liked as well, I loved it how Deontay Wilder's team came that side, Tyson Fury's team came that side, and they were shouting verbals at each other. But Wilder and Fury were just like that, just glued. Dudes, I can't lie to you. I'm sold. Take my money now. I'm buying that pay-per-view. Actually, we don't even have to buy it, do we? Do we? Get it free on Sky Sports, don't we? Woo! There you go. Can't wait. Honestly, can't wait for it. Has my opinion changed? Who I think's going to win? Nope. Not at all. I think Tyson Fury's going to win just because I've seen Tyson Fury win twice before. But come on now. You could not be excited by it. It's a shame, by the way, that it's only one press conference as well. I know the world's in a crazy place right now, but there deserves to be, and there should be, a press conference over here. There should be. There really should be. Not necessarily a tour like they did for the second fight, where I think they went to, was it 3 or 4 different states? Not that, because we don't need to see it like that again. But there does need to be a press conference over here. This is a big market for this fight over here, and it's a shame they're not doing one. But yeah, excited, right? Excited. I was just thinking about AJ watching that press conference and how upset he must be. I was upset for him watching it. Like, he should be there, and he's not. Disappointing. But yeah, excited for it now. Excited for it. Very excited for it. Let's little run through some news very quickly. Joshua Usyk will have a rematch clause, says Eddie Hearn. I did watch Rob Tebbett on Boxing Social. He is such a good interviewer. It's scary. Like, he will ask a question when they don't want another question. Like, just when they think, okay, no. He doesn't try and be friends. He's not trying to have a joke at the interview. He's trying to get all the questions out in his head. And he asked about this one as well. And what I don't like about this is, why does a mandatory have a rematch clause? I don't. This is a mandatory. This isn't AJ throwing out a voluntary. Like, this isn't the Ruiz fight. The Ruiz fight, rematch clause, fine. And in the end, it benefits Ruiz. Ruiz made a lot more money the second time round, so it benefits it. But why does it's a mandatory? There should be there shouldn't even be negotiations about pay. There should be nothing. It should be a case of, this is the mandatory, and the mandatory is, and it's always been really, 80-20 or 75-25 split. That's it. Done. Nothing else. Nothing else. That's it. The idea of negotiations, like Eddie Hearn mentioned in this, like, we've sent the contract over to Usyk's people, a few small things, and they're going to send it back. And I'm like, What? It shouldn't even be that. Not at all. Not in a mandatory. So yeah, look. And look, I understand Eddie Hearn's argument. Eddie Hearn was saying to Rob, when Rob asked exactly that question, like, in a mandatory though, in a rematch, say Usyk does win, Usyk will make loads more money in the rematch. So Usyk wouldn't mind a rematch clause being put in there, which is fair enough. If he does beat AJ, then he's right. If they run it back again, then there's a lot of money. But why does AJ get the opportunity? So again, it's a mandatory. Why does AJ, and look, I'm an AJ fan here, guys, you know how it is for me, but why does he get the opportunity to fight for his belts again if he's lost them in a mandatory? If you've lost them in a voluntary, because you've given the guy the opportunity, fine. In a mandatory, I don't think there should be rematch clauses. I think, it holds it all up again. Not in a mandatory. But hey, what do I know? Another thing, very quickly moving on from that Fury Wilder thing, is Wilder got up and obviously thanked his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, but he said thank you to my lawyers as well. But he didn't even, I think he said thank you to like either the best lawyers in the world in reference to them getting a win in this arbitration case. 2 secs. So disappointed about Cambosos. Teofimo Lopez at Cambosos delayed now until August. Teofimo Lopez has reportedly failed a COVID test, which is disappointing. Some of you are a bit about that. Some of you think it's not that, and that maybe there was a problem with the weight with Teofimo. I don't know. I'm not quite sure about that, but some of you think that there's a bit more to it than him just not passing a COVID test. Like maybe he was struggling with the weight and maybe they've pushed it back because of that. I don't know. All I do know is that it's disappointing, and I do wonder, does the event now even happen? Have Triller just cancelled the whole event? Remember, there was supposed to be a concert. Wasn't Meek Mill supposed to sing at that concert? Like, there was supposed to be a lot happening, but I'm guessing without the main event, it wasn't like it was a great co-main, you know what I mean? I mean, did they put Michael Hunter to the main event status? So I do wonder if that's it for the whole event, which is, again, it's disappointing for the likes of Michael Hunter, who was waiting for a big fight. It's a shame. Shame for everyone. A lot of you as well, by the way, had Cambosos winning that. I've read a few of your comments, and a lot of you, like, you thought Cambosos would have caused the upset. Interesting. Jamal Charlo this weekend against Montiel. Obviously, Jamal Charlo unbeaten of the twins. Although Jamal Charlo for me is the better boxer. I hate doing that, like comparing the two, but for me, Jamal Charlo is the better boxer of the two. It's close. I just prefer Jamal Charlo. But Jamal Charlo obviously unbeaten, coming off that win against Derevyanchenko. Sorry, I got the window open. Apologies. Yeah, that win against Derevyanchenko. Montiel coming off the win against Kirkland, I think. 2 secs. I think it is Kirkland. Yeah. Fucking hell, what a memory. What a memory. Coming off the win against Kirkland. Before that, he drew against Centeno, who Jamal Charlo beat as well. Look, people I think initially when this fight was made, just because of what's around at 160, people were upset about this match. I'm like, oh God. I'm telling you now, hear me. If Jamal Charlo can't dent him, remember when he fought J-Rock, Julian Williams, and just knocked him out? He's capable of that. If, though, he can't dent Montiel early, he's in trouble. Not in trouble to the point where he will lose. I don't think he will lose. I'm saying he's in trouble to the point where this then becomes a fight. This then becomes a bit more than what he would have wanted. Telling you. Hear me, brother. Hear me. It's a good fight. It's a good fight, and I feel like it deserves a bit more than it's getting. I feel like maybe those in the know, so that real hardcore boxing fans, will look at this one stylistically and think, hello. And this is the thing with boxing, by the way. Stylistically, there are some people who've had 5 or 6 defeats. Montiel's got 4 defeats. That can cause problems to certain unbeaten guys just because stylistic they're a problem. They're a problem. I'm telling you now, Montiel could be a problem for Jamal Charlo. Really could be. But let's hope that Jamal Charlo comes through, just because I do want to see him. I want to see his name in the sweepstakes for a Canelo fight. I really do. Like, when I think of who I'd like to see Canelo fight after Canelo fights Caleb Plant, it is Jamal Charlo. It really is. Whether or not Jamal Charlo is big enough at 168, I don't know. Obviously, this fight's at 160. We'll see. But look, that's going to be a good fight on the weekend. Trust me. What's on the undercard? Let's see if there's anything decent on the undercard. It's packed undercard. Gee, I'll tell you that now. It's packed. Anything of note? Super bantam fight between Angelo Leo and Aaron Alameda should be good. Isaac Gonzalez lightweight fight against Francisco Vargas. That's going to be exciting. No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's the kind of fight card that if Eddie Hearn did it, we'll take his head off. Put it that way, but it's all right. All right. Anything else? Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia thinks he runs something. He don't run nothing. I don't know why I said it in that voice. Man, I just hope we get these lightweights in the ring with each other before they all disappear to their separate weight classes. I really do, because Teofimo Lopez, I'm telling you now, is going to 140 after this. He's going to 140. He's going to 140. Gervonta Davis is at 140. Ryan Garcia, Can they just fight? Can they just fight? Now, that October 2nd day, obviously, look, this is now what happens. Now what happens? Teofimo Lopez, I mean, it was announced that there's an October 2nd day pay-per-view for Teofimo Lopez to fight on Showtime. Was it Showtime? It wasn't Showtime. I know what it was. Basically fighting for Top Rank. Definitely wasn't Showtime. Now what happens with that date? If his fight now is in August, can't fight in October. Fuck's sake. Okoli and White, a lot of people were asking why are they not on these fight camp cards. The rumor is they're both going to fight in August in America. So likely they're going to be on, and this is the thing right now with DAZN and this Matchroom deal. Well, it's always been like that, but with the DAZN and Matchroom deal, you know, expect to see a lot of the Brits fight in America, which is disappointing, just because, I mean, you don't want to have to wait up to 4 a.m. to see your Brits fight. You know what I mean? So that's a bit disappointing, but expect to see both of them land in America to fight. Callum Smith likely to move up to 175 pounds for his next fight. And one that I find quite weird as well is that John Ryder is likely to fight Dimitri Bivol for his title. Obviously, John Ryder's in the same camp as Craig Richards, who put on a decent performance against Dimitri Bivol. They are trying to get John Ryder a world title shot. A lot of people think he deserves a world title shot, especially because a lot of people think he beat Callum Smith. So they are trying to get John Ryder that. Anything else? I think that's kind of it. Look, to be fair, there's loads of stuff, but yeah. I did see something the other day, Pep Talk, Pro B's, good channel, growing. They had Frank Warren and Tunde Ajayi, and they basically have said that if both of their fighters win, Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde, then they fight each other. So let's hope that fight happens sometime in the fall. All right, guys, we are done. Peace and love. I do have a day off today. I'm excited about that day off, and I am going to do absolutely nothing.